Since Mega Man and Base uses Mega Man 8's visual assets, does that mean that Cold Man's level is going to be another case of jump, jump, slide, slide? Of course not. Base doesn't have a slide. Moreover, the level isn't going to make you slide either because much like Frostman's stage, the ice is not slippery in the slightest. Nope. While that's a nice advantage to have, one disadvantage that Base has is with his Buster. It normally can't go through ceilings, walls, or floors. However, if the platform itself is small enough, Base's bullets will be able to go through it, like you just saw with that Met there. Neat touch. The bunnies will try to crash into Base, so don't be dashing like mad here, but that's okay. You can just take your time and take him out no trouble whatsoever. And you can even skip a few ice blocks just by double jumping and dashing over them. Just make sure to let the last one crack to get an easy extra life. Take out the cannon enemies quickly because they could be a pain otherwise. And we will be back for you later. And you too. Sheesh. Oh no. It's an annoying mini-boss named Snowler. You have to be careful with this guy. He'll try to draw you in with his breath. He'll also then shoot out a few mini-snowmen afterwards. I recommend taking out the one right above you and then the one right next to it on the opposite side of the snowman before he becomes a problem. Mainly because the snowman mini-boss can jump more than once. I kind of got lucky this time around, but yeah, he was the hardest part of the level for sure. Part 2 of the level is going to see us use Base's abilities to their fullest. Forget that Met and just start shooting these cannon guys. Mega Man has it a little tough here because he has to hurry to take out the cannons. There are spikes below most of these ice block cracks here. In fact, I actually recommend taking the lower route with Mega there to avoid a lot of the trouble. Once again, use Base's Buster to take out all the trouble before it can even start. And before you know it, you're on the final stretch of the level already. And this stretch is just made for Base to just fly right over with his dash double jump combo. For Mega, he'd have to ride the ice blocks, but nope. Base's feet can just get him flying through in no time at all. And sure enough, we are at the shutter. Now, bosses are considered to be tougher to fight as Base than Mega, but that's not necessarily the case with Cold Man, especially if you keep things at long range like we're going to. After all, Base can aim his shots diagonally down as he's double jumping. The only thing you have to watch out for in this instance is that Cold Man will decide to leap across the entire room at intervals instead of doing these short hops at close range. He'll also try to freeze the ground where we're standing up to 5 times in a row after this. However, since we're not going to be on the ground when he's attacking then, and instead pummeling him with some pellets, we are going to be just fine. Again, the only thing you have to watch out for is when he's going to jump, and that's why I double jump this ice wall early, to make sure I have enough time to get up and over him. Now that we've got him at half health, he is going to change his attack pattern up somewhat by sending an annoying foe to try and screw us up here. I recommend jumping up and shooting him rather than angling your Buster up, just in case you miss. Although, you do want to get a little bit closer to Cold Man so you can get more shots in. I kind of didn't want to risk anything at the moment, although I do eventually suck up my courage like now and start shooting him like so. After all, you don't want this fight to go on any longer than it needs to. Just keep taking out that mist enemy that Cold Man shoots out, get a couple shots in on him, and you were going to have this fight over in just about no time at all, as I nearly get hit at the very end, and yes, I had an audible gasp when that happened. Oh well. Yeah, there was no way I was going to allow myself to take a hit in this stage as Base. Sheesh, that's kind of overkill, Base. It's a good thing the ice wall damages big enemies pretty quickly, or otherwise this weapon would be redundant for Base. After all, he is Mr. Mobility, and he sure isn't going to need to step on it as a platform like Mega Man would. Nope. Anyway, that was a pretty easy stage for the most part outside of that mini-boss. Looking like we have enough bolts now to head to the shop and purchase something, and that's exactly what we're going to do. The selection's a little small right now. Extra life's kind of irrelevant, obviously. Energy balancer we'll get later. Exit unit's what we're going to purchase right now. Shock guard, the fourth item, will protect you from spikes for 1 hit. The comm system will be another item I buy later. And the last one is the item present, which basically puts a party ball in a level. It's a one-time only thing. Of course. Whew, after that ice-cold level, I'm ready to warm up, and thankfully, one of the 2 options we have here that have just unlocked allows me to do that. Next time, I'm going to feel the burn. Oh boy.